Hey guys, Peter Chen here, recording another 500 Zoom video. On table 2, we defended big blind against cutoff with king-queen offsuit. Don't think I want to be doing any leading here. And now we have a flush. I want to be mostly betting small, but with some of my stronger hands, maybe there is some big betting. I'm going to go for the quarter pot bet. And I'm going to call the raise. I don't think I want to be doing loads of 3-betting since it's so important to just have the hearts when you're making the pot big, and there aren't too many great bluffs. On table 2, opening aces from the button. And on table 1, jack 6 suited, going to defend blind versus blind. On table 2, I'm going to start off by c-betting my range for a small size here. And the jack 6 is probably mixed. Betting or checking, so going to bet this time. And fold to the raise. On table 1, opening button with pocket 2s. And on table 2, opening small blind with king-jack offsuit. Twos is a pretty good hand to bet here. And if we have big bets, it's going to go in there. I think this is a flop where we're going to do a lot of different sizes of bets. On table 1, opening ace-jack in the cutoff. And on table 2, I bet small on the flop. This is a reasonable hand to basically do anything with. Bet really big, bet a medium size, or check. And if I check, this is a good candidate to check raise as well. So going to be doing that. Going to be check raising a lot less against a big size, which he did, than a small size, but my hand is just really good. On table 1, I defended blind versus blind with queen 4 suited, flopped a flush draw. I'm mostly going to be betting this, but I could check as well. On table 2, opening button with pocket jacks. And on table 1, mostly going to be calling 5s here, 3-betting a small percent of the time maybe. So the Jack's hand is three ways with a short stack in the small blind. I think I want to be doing a lot of betting here, mostly for small size. On table one, opening ace-9 suited from hijack. On table two, the 10's not a great card for me. I think I want to go for one more street of value, either checking now or checking the river. Both seem fine. Going to check now this time. And on table two, going to call the one big blind bet with my 9. And just check down, see the showdown. With the Jacks, going to be calling. On table one, opening button with 7-6 suited. And on table two, with 6-5 suited, I can 3-bet this, I can call. Going to 3-bet. And on table one, defending blind versus blind with Queen 10. And when it's checked to me, I'm mostly going to be betting this hand. My hand has a very good draw and fairly weak in showdown value. Although neither of those are super important on the flop yet. And this is a card that's, I would say, pretty bad for me, so I'm going to be checking quite a bit. But again, with this hand, it's still a good hand to be betting with. And I'm very, very close to the bottom of my range. So I'm just going to be putting in a bet. Good blockers to bet big, but I don't know how big I can be betting. I'm guessing I do have hands like 7 or even 10-7, which I would maybe want to shove, so I could shove this sometimes. On table two, I called a 3-bet with pocket 6s. Got check 2 on the flop. Bet quarter pot. I think this is a decent hand to keep betting with. I do have a lot of high card hands, but 6s might sometimes get called by worse. Probably not on the ace turn, but also might make some better hands fold. Also, not too many of those. But the main thing is I think it's pushing a lot of equity. It's happy with basically any hand calling or folding. On table two, going to defend ace-3 offsuit, big blind versus button. And calling the flop bet. So after turn goes check check, this is a great river for me to be betting really big on. And I also have a great hand to do it. Gonna get called by a ton of ace-x. A lot of ace-x with the medium kicker will play this way. On table 1, opening button with ace-9 offsuit. I have a pretty good checking hand with the ace-9. I will be betting sometimes, but checking a lot too. On table 2, calling the 3-bet from the small blind with king-queen suited. And check folding the flop. So after flop goes check check with my ace-9, now this is a great spot for me to be doing a lot of betting. I think with the majority of my range I want to be betting small, but I have a really great hand to be putting in a fairly big bet. I don't think I'm going to be doing much bigger bets than this. On table 2, opening hijack with queen 10 suited. On table 2, opening button with ace-4 offsuit. And on table 1, this is a good hand to call. It's a good hand to 3-bet. Going to call this time. And facing a bet, I'm always going to be calling. I think a lot of the time bottom pair is a good hand to raise, but here we have so many draws, I don't know if I want to be raising this. We improve our hand a little bit on the turn. Now I think this is a bit of a better candidate to raise, since a lot of our gut shots I think we would just fold. But I still think that's going to be a pretty small frequency thing. This is very good river for my range, I think. So many of my hands will be flush draws. I think I fold queen 10 on the turn, but it is possible. So I bet close the pot and get a fold. On table 2, could 3-bet this sometimes, mostly calling. after check check, with this strong of a hand, I want to be mostly betting big. On table one, small blind limps, I check back the big blind. Could be raising this hand too. On the flop, since we're forced to bet half pot, I think this spot just plays super passive. There's no small betting. We're going to face a lot of checks. We're going to do a lot of checking ourselves, and obviously just folding to the pot size bet on the turn. Now on table one, opening cutoff with ace queen suited. On table one, opening button with queen 8 suited. Table one, opening cutoff with king jack offsuit. This 9-5 is fairly weak. I think it's actually pretty close to calling. So in theory, it's going to be a fold, but when you face a min raise from the small blind, it's mostly going to be against a weaker player, and they might be mixing up min raising and 3xing and just having only the weak hands in the 2x range. I think that might not be the case for that player though. On table two, 3-betting king 8 suited. This is going to be like bottom of my 3-bet range. On table one, opening king jack suited from cutoff. On table two, opening small blind, jack 7 suited. On table one, opening button with queen 10 offsuit. And folding to this 3-bet. On table one, defending blind versus blind with 10-8 offsuit, and on table two, opening hijack with pocket aces. So on table one, we flop top pair. I'm going to be betting this hand a lot of the time when check two, but also checking back sometimes. Basically, every hand is going to be mixed, or almost every hand is going to be mixed. Same with this spot with the aces. Good spot to check back. A lot of players will make the mistake of starting to become way too polarized on the early streets. The aces might be close to raise, but I think I would rather have a hand like pocket nines. That's going to be less of a check on the flop, but going to still check it sometimes. And with my 8, I'm going to bet for value. I think when, well, he had a flush, or he had a straight there, but I think when I face a check, there's not a lot of flushes and straights. I can still get called by one pair in blind versus blind. And now with the aces, I'm going to raise for value. Sort of a weird spot, but going small bet, a lot of strong hands won't be doing that. So most of the time I'm ahead and I can get hero called by a one pair hand and just fold to the 3-bet. On table 1, opening small blind with ace-4 offsuit. On table 2, opening hijack with queen-9 suited. On table 2, going to be mostly calling. Sometimes I could 3-bet. I think 3-bet performs a little better when we're deep. I want to have more of these more playable type hands instead of having something like Jack 2 suited. But still, either way, it's going to be mixed. I'm just going to do it a little more when we're deeper. So on table 2, we open button with Queen Jack. We have top pair. This is going to be a flop I'm going to be checking a lot on, but again, most hands are going to be mixed, so I will bet this time. On table 1, I opened button with ace-6 suited, got called by the small blind. So I checked the flop and now folding to the turn bet. We face the lead with our Queen Jack. I definitely can't be folding this with the top pair and the straight draw. But not improving on the river, I basically have a bluff catcher. I think there's a lot of 2 pairs. All the offsuit 2 pairs are in here. Basically every 9. So it's basically, do I think they can find all the king-queen, ace-queen? A lot of that 3-bets pre-flop. And I have the queen, so going to fold this. It's possible a lot of smaller pairs will have to bluff as well. Really hard to find the bluffs there. On table 2, we have ace queen. Decent hand to squeeze, so I will be doing that. On table 1, I defended big blind versus button with ace 9 offsuit. This is a flop we're going to be facing a bet a lot of the time on, and I'm just going to have to fold. And I'll be folding my ace queen to the 4-bet as well. Going to end the video here. Thanks for watching, and see you guys next week.